Happy Sunday, everyone. You know what time it is. It's now time to start Dishin' Days. Coming up now.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Why, hello, all of you Days of Our Lives fans. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV's Dishin' Days, where we give you a full recap of this week's episodes of Days of Our Lives. I'm your host, Tony Moore, and we have a new face in the studio today because everybody else left me. So, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome our guest co-host, Michael.
Hello.
I was going to try to do the last name, and then I realized I'm about to butcher it, so I'm just going to say Michael.
It's Mattis. Two syllables. Mattis.
Yes.
Mattis.
Michael is a longtime fan of Days of Our Lives. I have known of him. I shouldn't say known because it's not
a lot of people know of me, but no one really knows me.
Well, we won't touch that. I've seen him at Day of Days. I see him around LA, and I was like, listen, we need a fan to come in and talk days with us. And he was like, absolutely. So here he is to talk this week with us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for
coming. It is
coming
a pleasure
in.
to be here.
Yay! We have a lot to talk about. Well, and in case you guys are wondering where Matthew and Mark are, Matthew is still out on vacation, and Mark is attending the lovely wedding of our engineer, Alexis. So big round of applause to Alexis for finally getting married today. We have been talking about this wedding for like ever and like all the preparations and all the stresses that she's been going through. And today is finally the day. So we are sending our love to Alexis. Yay! And thank you guys for watching live. If you haven't already, make sure you like us, follow us on the social media platforms. We are Dishin' Days on Instagram and Facebook, and _Dishin' Days on Twitter. The @ is implied. All right, so also a little announcement. This just in, breaking news. We have a very special guest that will be popping in later on today. Not going to tell you who it is. You'll just have to stick around and wait and see. So to get things off, what did you think about this week of Days?
I thought it was good. You know, like I told you, it was my first time watching an entire week in a long time. I've been kind of in and out and watching sporadically, and then, you know, of course, there's, you know, a new head writer, so that always piques my interest a little bit, seeing the differences. But I thought it was a solid week. It, you know, I always judge it by whether it keeps my attention or whether I, you know, start straying, and, you know, like
we call that pizza rolls.
Pizza roll.
Yeah. Whenever the show is not giving like the attention, it's like we're losing it. Yeah. It's a pizza roll moment.
Okay.
Yeah, Mark has a lot of those.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
For me, it might be a wine moment.
Oh, wine.
It might be a refill moment.
Oh, look. Oh, refill moment. I like that.
But not
like
too much, because then I won't have any idea what just happened, what I watched. So,
you know. You'll do what we do, and we just create our own days.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're like, did that really happen? I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, this is what we would like to happen. This is what we saw. I thought this week was pretty good. Yeah. I feel like it led up to Friday, which woke me
definitely. And that's like the old school. Like when I first started watching it, everything would lead up to Friday, and like Friday was the day that you know had to make sure the VCR was set and stuff, because you didn't want to miss it, because then they would cliffhang you until Monday.
Yes,
something like major would happen. That's why one of the reasons I got hooked on the show was because it did such a good job of like, I got to see what's next. And so yeah, I think that absolutely was this week. And I feel like
it's only been recent that we've really had those cliffhanger moments.
Oh,
so
yeah, definitely.
I feel like we're back to the OG of Days.
Yeah, I think we're getting there.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to start Dishin' Days. Okay. Michael? Bum, bum. Set it and forget. It's so
glad I didn't drop it.
It's like it's so dramatic for no reason, right? Like all of a sudden there's silence and it's quiet. It's like, ooh,
there should be a sound effect,
right? And like lights and all this kind of stuff. Oh my God, we're so much. So let's kick so extra. All right, so let's kick things off with this lovely storyline: Hattie, Marlena, Angelica, and John.
You know, of everything that went on this week, you know, and it had its dramatic moments with Chad and Abby, which we'll get to later, but this in particular with Morgan Fairchild playing Angelica, who I'm always there for Morgan Fairchild.
Yes.
Like, she's, you know, soap opera royalty. She knows how to do it. She has that presence and that kind of, I guess I'll call it extraness, as long as we're going with the extra, to play this kind of vindictive character, and she does it, and it's very entertaining to me.
With grace.
With grace, exactly, with grace. But yet she can, you know, cut you verbally. Like there was a scene with her and Pat. Maybe it wasn't with her and Patch. It was with, and she called him like the one-eyed superhero or something.
Yes.
I was like, okay, shade. All right.
That was a lot of shade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other part of it, I really enjoyed was seeing Deidre Hall like kind of play, and she's done this before. She's played this Hattie character before, and she's played. I don't know if she's ever played Hattie playing Marlena before. I don't remember that happening. It could have happened. Maybe I missed it.
I don't think so. I think normally her twin plays Hattie.
Right. The I can't remember her name now, but
Samantha?
Deidre Hall's. That was the character's name.
Oh.
But her
I don't know.
Deidre Hall's sister. I can't remember her name, but yeah.
What's Deidre Hall's sister's?
It's on the tip of my tongue.
Put it in the
feel
chat.
Stupid when you hear it, but anyway, but it was really interesting because you see Deidre Hall play Marlena for years, and then she comes on, she's playing Hattie, and then Hattie wrangles Marlena, and then all of a sudden she's Hattie playing
Marlena.
Deidre Hall is Hattie playing Marlena. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I had it all set up. And anyway, but it was just funny because like the little nuances that in her performance. Andrea.
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Thank you, Loretta and Annie Goen and
Loretta,
Taylor.
we love you.
Yes.
So no, the little nuances she gives off when she's kind of reminding you like, oh yeah, that's she's like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be Marlena. Or,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be Marlena.
Yeah. Well, I thought their whole interaction just in the bedroom and just kind of, and for the first time, I felt like we got the plan, but Marlena kind of took the thought of like the fans and was kind of like, this doesn't make sense. Like, why does this include me?
Why are you doing this?
Yeah, it's like, why are you including me, and why do I have to leave?
Yeah.
And
I mean, that's not really clear. Like, I mean, it's clear that Angelica's after Justin and that Hattie's after Roman. But the end point of this story, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah. But I mean, it's in full effect because
and they just went like, I feel like it just like happened like that. Like they started it and went right into it.
They did, because
there was not a lot of lead up.
No, because Friday Hattie walked in and was like surprised. I think it was Monday they had the whole interaction of the plan and what's going to happen, and all
by
this
the
kind
end
of
of
stuff.
Monday she was dragging
her
sack of potatoes.
Yeah. But there was a point though when Marlena was in the trunk. My first thought was, oh my God, it's the 90s again. They're gonna do a coffin thing. Are you serious?
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh no. But then when Hattie went to meet up with Angelica, and I like Hattie's like, listen, let's get this plan in. Let's go. And she wanted to talk to John and say something to John or whatever. And Angelica was like, no. Nope. And then Hattie had to explain what she did with Marlena, which was things kind of went awry, and now she's in the trunk of my car. So Angelica's like, okay, girl, let's not derail. Here's the paperwork. Go. And then she ends up taking her to the mental hospital,
ward,
which I thought was hilarious. And that's the part where you're seeing Deidre Hall as Hattie, as Marlena.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like these little nuances where like you see that twinkle of Marlena, but you see that twinkle of Hattie, and I'm like, oh, and then there's the real Marlena sitting in the wheelchair, and she's like out of it, and the whole scene was just amazing.
It was very entertaining.
Yeah, very entertaining. So I don't know. And then you have John.
I'm wondering if we're gonna go back to like the '90s, absolutely clueless John Black, who like had no idea what was going on when Kristen switched herself with Susan, or Susan switched herself with Kristen and had no idea. So I'm wondering if we're gonna get that, and then how long that's gonna go on.
Yeah,
you know, or if he's gonna instantly realize like, oh, this isn't Marlena.
I don't know. It's gonna be a true test because I mean they have such a long history together that I'm pretty sure they. But then, as Kate was pointing out, there's been
a disconnect with them.
Yeah, that whole conversation was. I like that Kate was like that girlfriend that was like, look, ho, you ain't been around. Like she's probably avoiding you. Like she's that girlfriend that like when something happens between a couple, like and the guy comes over to the house, she's like, she don't want to talk to you.
Right.
Like that's how I felt like Kate was.
Yeah.
And that whole conversation that they had, and Kate was just like, she's probably just avoiding you. Like, why even waste your time? But I like that John still kind of have a sense that like something's happening.
Up,
yeah. So I don't know. We'll see how that whole storyline plays out. A lot of people in the chat room thought that Marlena was in a coffin too.
And because they didn't establish that, they just showed her in a really tight space, and then I think it was brought out. Hattie mentioned like, oh, now she's in the trunk of my car. Yeah. So it was like, oh, she's in the trunk of the car. She's not buried alive or anything.
Right. Well, I'm glad they didn't go that route because we already had Nicole locked up in a cage in Greece, and I was just like, what is this, the Queen of the Night again? We can't have that. We cannot do that. All right, so we'll see how that plays out. Let's move on to the whole Chad, Dario, Abigale storyline. So Friday we left with like the car coming up. My whole issue was, why is everyone having such slow reactions to this car pulling up?
Right. Maybe step out of the way.
Right, because Chad had so much time to recognize the car, and I kind of get the mindset of like maybe being like, oh my God, I should move, but maybe you can't move.
Like Frozen. Yeah.
Right. And then Abigale kind of like whipping into action, but then it almost seemed like she had time to also move out of the way too.
Well, maybe it was just like, you know, a deer in the headlights thing. You see it happening and you freeze, you know. You have those moments where you get scared and you just freeze and you don't want to move. So maybe that's what happened.
Maybe that is what I felt like.
Or maybe she felt like getting hit by a car. Who knows?
I guess so.
She felt like taking a rest.
Listen, kudos to Marcy Miller because you would think they would do a stunt double. Nope. You clearly saw that it was Marcy's face like and like rolling over. And I was like, kudos to you, girl. Yeah. She was like, listen, let's
in it to win it.
Yeah.
Know?
Like
no phoning it in with that one.
I almost felt like Marcy was like, they told her like, oh, this is what's going to happen to Abigale. And she was like, let's do this. Let's do it. I got this. Right. She's like,
all right.
Stunt double. What? How am I supposed to jump? But it was, but I was like, everyone's reaction is slow. And then to be reminded that what Chad last said to Abigale, which was like, you know, if you're going to go, just stay gone. Right. Really be dead this time. Yeah. And, you know, and then to see him this week kind of struggling with like his feelings for her and the guilt, and Gabby finally seeing, you know, his true feelings for her, because that whole speech that he had in there with her and Gabby overhearing it, it's like, girl, Miss Gabby, I think it's the end of Chabby with the I.
I know.
Were you rooting for Chabby with an I or Chabby with a Y?
See, why can this not? It's not computing in my head.
Because
you know what? Okay, if it had it my way, Chad would be with Abby.
Okay.
And I think this is pretty universal amongst the fans. Chad would be with Abby, and Gabby would be with JJ. I was so thrilled, like a year and a half, 2 years ago, when they introduced like putting JJ and Gabby together after the whole stuff with Paige's mom. Yeah. With Eve. Yeah. And I thought, oh, they're such a cute couple, and they played off each other well, and they eventually like wrote them off, like JJ cheated and whatnot. But I liked JJ and Gabby, Abby, JJ. Like it's my mouth can't.
It's okay. It's a lot. I was team Gabby and Chad, but then when the whole hallucination allergen. Oh, no, not allergen. I don't know why I said allergen. Halo 2.0 thing happened, and everyone got drugged, and everyone for like 2 seconds like were paired with the people that we thought should be with them. And we saw JJ and Gabby together. I was like, oh. And then we saw Chad and Abigale together, and I was like, oh. Yeah. Maybe it should be like that.
Yeah, maybe it should.
Maybe it should
I
be.
think so.
But everyone's like finding out that Abigale was in this accident, and also that the whole marriage with Dario was fake, and Rafe seems very upset about the whole thing too, because he's like, oh my God, this is my brother.
Yeah, he had no idea.
Yeah, and he's just kind of this horrible person. I don't like that. Apparently, that's how Dario leaves the show.
Yeah, apparently, like, is he gone? Like, is that it? Do we know?
I mean, we
know he's leaving. Yeah. We know he's leaving, and he had, you know, he left taping a long time ago, but was that just how, like, he was like, his last line I think was like, don't die, right? That was his last line. I'm like, that's how he's going off.
Oh, I hope that that's not just like he's just like, I love you, bye, and then now he's just like on the run.
gone.
Well, maybe
It seems kind of anticlimactic, but
yeah.
you know, it's not unlike soaps to do that.
Like they're just like, listen, we gotta go.
They're just like, peace.
Yeah.
So,
It's like,
we'll
get
see.
rid of that. We're done. We're done.
But no,
with
it's
that.
very touching. And the other thing about these two couple pairings, I think, is that Billy Flynn has such good chemistry with both of them. Like he had good chemistry with Kate Manzi. He has good chemistry with.
Oh,
Marcy
are you
Miller.
on the Billy Flynn train too?
Yeah, kind of. Why?
Another one.
He's
Go
always, he's
on.
always very nice to me.
Go on.
No, and I think he's a solid actor, and I think that's one of the reasons. Like maybe some people are torn about, oh, who should Chad be with? It's because he's almost like meant to be with all of them.
Yeah.
Or both of them. Excuse me.
Yeah.
But I think it's Chad and Abby.
I mean, we all know that's the direction that they're going in. So
Yeah.
I guess we'll see. And there was other touching scenes too, like with Jennifer and talking to Abby, and JJ talking to Abby, and then the scene with Jennifer and Eric, how he came to check on her.
There were a lot of good emotional interpersonal scenes this week with like these characters, and you need to kind of reminding the audience that, oh yeah, these two are connected this way, and a lot of touching family moments.
Yes, I agree. What? Oh, when I said, "Are you on the Billy train too?" April in our chat room said, "It's the chair, Tony," because that's where Mark normally sits.
Really?
And Mark, Mark is a true Billy Flynn fan. So, Camila, welcome Camila from Canada. It's her first time in the chat room, and she says, "Love the actor who plays Dario. Hate Dario himself. Wish Rafe and Hope caught him." Well, Rafe and Hope work for Salem PD, so we all know how that works out. Yeah. Tara says, "I love Jennifer and Lucas, and Jennifer with Patch scenes. Those were great." Scene. Yes.
That's one of those. That's one of the. Sorry to interrupt.
No,
but
you're good.
The Jennifer Lucas, like, I forget that they're brother and sister. They're half brother and sister.
Yeah.
But they're brother and sister, and so it was good that we're reminded of that. Like you forget sometimes that Lucas is actually a Horton.
Yes, and I like that he was at the police station with Adrian about to see Sonny when Adrian, Lucas, and Justin all received the news about Abigale, and they were all kind of torn, like, "Ooh, we should go. Oh, but wait, Sonny." And Lucas was just like, "Listen, I'll go.
Yeah.
You guys stay here and check on Sonny."
Right.
So I like that compromise in a relationship.
Definitely.
That's good. So that's and Abigale woke up.
Yeah, at the very end.
At the very end of the scene.
Chad brought her out. Chad woke her up.
Yes. Well, don't they always wake up on Friday?
Will she have amnesia?
You think so? I hope not.
I know, really.
Because
like, I hope. Like, I kind of want it to get wrapped up.
Yeah. Don't give her
I don't want them
amnesia.
to prolong this.
Like,
anymore,
listen, this is not.
But see, then I was thinking, like, okay, if she has amnesia, like, what has she forgotten? Like, like, even if she still thinks she's married to Dario, like, what can happen? He's gone.
Or if she has amnesia and she thinks she's still married to Chad and forgot the whole Dario stuff.
Right, but even then, like, what would the point of doing that be, like, storyline wise?
It's days.
I know.
But it's also very reminiscent of when our bad girl Sammy Brady got hit by that car and like faked amnesia.
When she got bowled over by Austin?
Yes. And then she faked that amnesia.
I hated Sammy. Oh my God, back then Sammy was the devil.
She was, but we all loved to hate her.
I just hated her. But no, I remember that. I remember seeing it, and I don't think Alice Sweeney did that because they really like threw her against the wall.
Yeah,
like talking about doing their own stunts. But yeah, this is and it's a classic soap opera storyline. The what do you call it? The villainess. Wants the man. Finds a way to Sammy really did have amnesia, but then when she got it back, when she plugged the light socket in and almost exploded, she got her memory back. Yeah. And then it wasn't until a couple months later that she finally was caught. Like, oh yeah, you got your memory back. I remember the scene when Kate, she revealed to Kate because she had blackmail material on Kate. So Kate came over and she brought it out, and Kate was like, "Oh, you have your memory back."
Yeah. And
Sammy's like, "Good luck proving it."
Oh, Sammy.
But yeah, this is a lot of this is reminiscent of the 90s days, which gets me excited because I feel like that was a good time to be.
Those were good.
So good.
Meredith Cox said, "I'm interested to know who Dario's partner is." Me too. They didn't explain that because they kept saying that he has a silent partner who wasn't too silent in this whole like scheme of things. And yeah, it's just like,
that's one to think about.
Yeah.
I mean, could be any of
I
them.
don't know. We'll see.
Now, didn't Nicole and Deimos, they had kind of a tumultuous thing
relationship,
going on, right? And,
they did.
And Ariane's leaving. Like, she's already stopped taping.
Yes.
But maybe she's involved somehow. I don't know. And maybe, I don't know, like I said, I missed here and there, so maybe there was a scene where it made it an impossibility for that to happen. But I was watching, and she came on, and I'm like, I wonder what, she was with Deimos. I wonder if she had anything to do with this, or Dario, or...
Nah.
I don't know.
She's out of it.
Okay.
All right, let's move on to the next one, which is like the big one. Kayla, Tripp, and Patch and Joey. I love that earlier this week, Patch figured out that Tripp had something to do with it.
And it was one of those where he was... You wondered, it's like, does he know? Like, after a while, like, all the questions and how he was just staring daggers at Tripp, you're like, oh, yeah, he knows.
Yeah.
He's got his number.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And he kept,
and that's
like...
Kind of psychological...
Yeah.
What do you want to call it?
Like game or play.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, did you hear that, Tripp? All those hours of internships and what she's done.
The hard work.
Yeah. And I like that he revealed it to Joey. And I like that the whole Ava thing is coming back up, and like Joey's struggling with like what he did, and he confided to Roman, and Roman confided into Patch, and Patch then had a conversation with Joey, which led to like Patch admitting that he thinks Tripp is the one that did it, and then cut to Tripp going cray-cray and like calling the friend Angelo, and Angelo's being like, you can take care of it this way, but then Tripp going into the... I love that at the hospital they have a nap station. You can take a little nap, like it's an overnight thing. It's just, you know, we're just gonna take a little nap. So he goes in there and is like head to head with
Full
Kayla.
on goes in,
Yeah, and then then she figures out, and he admits that he's the one that did it, and
then I thought he took a nail file out and was threatening her with it, and I'm like, what?
I think that's like
scalpel. It was a scalpel. She has a scalpel in her. First I thought it was her purse.
Bag.
I'm like, she just carries a scalpel in her purse, but no, it was her medical bag.
Yes. And so like all of that was so dramatic, and I felt like Tripp Lucas does such a great job in that moment, because you could see his frustration and everything like that. But I also realized this. I remember who your mama is, and she had a touch of crazy in her, so it was hereditary that he would have a touch of crazy too.
The crazy trickles down. It trickled down with Ben. It trickled down with so many before him.
So that was just like a really good moment, and I can't wait to see how they do that. So
have you heard about there's a rumor out there, and I don't know if it's been confirmed or not, that Joey
is leaving?
James, that he's done.
I heard that too.
But have you heard anything about his name's Lucas Adams? Yeah, if you've heard anything about
I haven't heard anything
if
about
they're gonna
Lucas.
try to like maybe redeem that character, and maybe Joey's gonna eventually go away for Eva's demise.
I don't know.
I don't know. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned, y'all. All right, so that was our top storylines, and now let's get into our tidbits really quick. So we had Eric, Nicole, and Brady. Nicole is in her feelings because she keeps reading those letters that Eric wrote. And now we got Brady walking around here trying to be Nancy Drew, which is the wrong kind of Nancy Drew, and trying to figure out now what secret is Nicole keeping, which I don't know why it's such a big deal that about
she
these
forgave
letters and
Eric.
stuff.
I don't understand why Eric can't know, or why Brady can't know she forgave Eric. I don't understand why Brady can't know.
I think because Brady now feels threatened, because now after the whole kiss that happened, Brady feels threatened about like Nicole's, because there was a time where Nicole was like all about Eric. And I think he feels like those feelings are going to come back up.
Eric and Nicole have the history. Like, they started together, and they've been on and off, and then she went with Victor first, and then with Brady, but it's always Nicole and Eric. For me, it's always Nicole and Eric. Like, they're always going to find their way back to each other.
Oh, absolutely. So I like that she confided into Maggie. And that's where Brady overheard her say, like, we need to keep this to ourselves. And I was like, oh, boy, here we go. And then she goes over to Eric's house, and then there's
in the middle of, like, how did she think she was going to... That was a questionable moment where Brady's like, I need to take a phone call. So she's like, okay, I'm going to leave the house, go across town, have, like, this somewhat long conversation with Eric, and get back before Brady comes back down. Like...
No. no, that's not gonna happen. I mean,
I have questions.
Salem is small, but it's not that small.
No.
So we'll see how that wraps up. Then we have, of course, we have a new suspect in Damos's murder, which is now Victor.
Yeah.
And Paul, not Paul, Xander.
Xander, yeah. Real name Paul.
Yeah, real name Paul. Character name Xander.
As long as they keep bringing him back in tank tops, they can do whatever they,
Put
him wherever you want in the story.
Not shirtless, but in tank tops?
Either one.
Oh, okay.
Something about a man in a tank top. I don't know.
Well, I mean, a man in a tank top is just fine with me. Although many people think that my man in the tank top is Kyler Pettis, but that's a different story.
I'm here for that too. So he's like, just a sidebar. He seems to have matured like a little bit over the last year. Like I was looking at him and I'm like, he's more manly now. When he first started, he
Muscular.
still had a touch of like teenager, but now he just, I don't know.
Oh.
Just a note.
I'm not gonna say anything because as soon as I do, I'm Mrs. Pettis, so I don't want to go there. So new suspect. We'll see how that unravels because and Chad, and now.
Well, so Victor's the suspect. Do you he's the suspect in that he orchestrated it, but did he actually do it? No, we think it was. Right now,
that he flew Xander in to do it because Paul spoke to Brady and found out that the Titan jet went to Greece and came back, and from the pilot they found out that Xander was on board. Right. So,
but then you can't ever trust. Like whenever they give you like a little nugget of information like that, you don't trust it. You're like, as a viewer, you're just like, no, that's not real. That's too easy, almost.
True, but who knows?
It could be.
So now it's like between Chad wiping his fingerprints off of the knife and Victor orchestrating this travel with Xander. Who knows who killed Deimos? No one knows. All right, so and then real quick, just Justin, Lucas, and Adrian, just that moment of them.
There's a little bit of tension, a little bit of jealousy, and then did they break up? Did I read that they break up? Or
I saw that on Soap Opera Digest.
Okay,
that Lucas gets dumped.
Okay. So is it really Bonnie?
I don't think they did that switch.
You don't think they did that? Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay.
But if they did, they like totally slid it in.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know. All right. Well, that was the week of days. Yay! We breezed through that. All right. So really quick, let's go through our segments, and we'll start with mine, which is Tony's official 3 Snaps Award. Oh, snap! All right. So my 3 Snaps Award. Okay, I'm gonna break it up. So a snap and a half goes to Marcy Miller for being her own stunt double and like being the Wonder Woman that she is, and like really we saw her face go and her like flip over the car and everything. I was like, yes, girl, do that. And then my other half snap and a half goes to Lucas Adams as Trip, because when he was in that nap room with Kayla and was like showing his touch of crazy side that he got from his mama, I was like, okay, you're slaying the dragon. So 2 people get Tony's official 3 Snaps Award, Marcy and Lucas. There we go. All right. And so since Mark isn't here, nor Matthew, I decided that we should do a guest choice segment, and Michael's going to point out something teasing and tantalizing that he noticed this week. And what was that?
You're really building this up.
I am.
No, other than the stories that were going on and the great performances, I had to take a moment and call out Christopher Sean's wardrobe. Pretty much all week consisted of what I can only describe as like a baby shirt, just very tight, very right, very clingy, but it was right. It was right. Like I said, tight and right.
Tight and right. Tight and right, and the baby tees.
And it just made an impression on me.
Yes.
And yeah. I'm thinking about it right now.
He had a moment and he went back. He had a moment and went back.
I love my husband, by the way. Yeah. My husband's with me in spirit.
He is. You know. It's all right. It's all right. Look, but don't touch. Look, but don't touch. So we don't have a quote of the week because Mark isn't here. But I bet if Mark was here, his quote of the week would be from the doctor when he said that Marlena and Hattie had an uncanny resemblance. Hattie said,
they only look exactly alike. But yeah, I don't see it.
I don't see it. I love that. I love that. And really quick, our fan of the week, I am going to give it to our Instagram user, Lisa_Mims, who left a comment earlier today that said, so glad that we all can get together and talk and have fun with what we all love and have in common days of our lives.
Yes.
Thank you for what you do for us. See you there. So thank you, Lisa. I truly appreciate that. That touched my heart. And now let's really quick go into some news and gossip. We're gonna, I know, right? It's so official. All right, so really quick, you guys know August 26th, I will be in Boston hosting the DOOL Coast event with some stars from Days of Our Lives. For more information, make sure you visit dualcoastevents.com. Go and get your tickets now. They're on sale. Go get them. Come meet us. We have Billy Flynn, Eric Martzoff, Judy Evans, Vincent Irizarry, James Reynolds, and I feel like I left someone off. Rob Wilson. So
good.
Come. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
And then of course we all have seen the photo of Louise Sorel is back as Vivian.
Alamein.
Yes, and also Tyler Christopher, who was on General Hospital.
Nicholas Cassadine, is that who he played?
I think so.
I know it's the first name of the character was Nicholas that he's famous for.
Yeah.
But they's harpooned him.
Oh,
good for them.
Good for them.
Because he's a talented guy.
Yeah.
But there's a question of who he's going to play. They're not revealing the character yet.
No.
Some are saying I've read all the way from he's playing another grown-up Nicholas Alamein, who, you know, was a kid in the 90s. They aged him late 90s, early 2000s, then de-aged him, I feel like fairly recently, the last time Louise Sorel was on. So maybe they're going to reintroduce that character with Vivian coming back, since the news kind of broke at the same time and it corresponds with each other. Another rumor was that he's a new EJ, but I don't think Days. I think Days knows that if they're gonna bring EJ back, it has to be James Scott.
That would be such a stretch.
Like EJ is one of those characters you cannot work it. You cannot bring him back and have it work if it's not James Scott. He's as my friend would say, you know, the English muffin.
Yeah.
You know, it has to be James Scott.
Yes.
Like you wouldn't recast, you wouldn't bring Sammy back and have it be some rando. It has to be Alice Sweeney.
Girl. Yeah, it has to be Allison Sweeney. Yeah.
So who knows? Well, I guess you know, it remains to be seen who he's going to play and how he's going to fit into the storylines and what they're going to do with him. But good for them. They got a talented guy on their hands now.
Now it's all about. I guess we'll see now what's going to happen. Yeah.
I'm curious what they're going to do with Vivian again, because they brought her back for a while a few years ago, and I was kind of in and out of that time, but
oh,
we'll see.
That door is opening, which means our special guest is here. And you can sit right there. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if the camera has panned over to him yet, but live in our studio, we have I feel like I want to say the very burly.
The very burly.
Yeah. Mr. Casey Deidrick.
I can do that. I like that. Hello. Testing, 1, 2.
We can hear you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Welcome.
What's going on, guys?
How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
No,
Absolutely.
Thanks for popping in. We appreciate it. So last week we talked about the fact that you are now on Teen Wolf.
Yes.
And you also had a little Lifetime thing come out called A Midsummer's Nightmare.
That's correct.
Which is based on A Midsummer's Night's Dream by Shakespeare.
That's right.
Yeah, I know my stuff.
You know your Shakespeare.
Yeah. Well, not really. I mean, I don't want to act like, you know, I was like this whole Shakespearean like actor like in my early days.
It was funny when I first got the role. I don't think I ever read the actual play, so I had to go to the bookstore and I bought the Cliff Notes, to like the dumb version of it, like the broken down. There's no way I could read Shakespeare, you know. So
no,
it's funny.
Well, that's how I got through high school, was because of Cliff Notes. Yeah. I mean, who had
I didn't know
time to
they
read
still
books?
sold them. I thought people just Googled now.
Well,
I don't
probably. Oh, I think at one point in time they were called Spark Notes.
Yeah, it's like Spark. So like the left side of it was the original play, and the right side was the translated version. And so I would read sections of the actual real play, and then I would have no idea.
You'd be like, okay, what was that about?
And I would read the translated side, and I would be like, there's no way I could have got that. No way. You know?
It's kind of how I felt watching Downton Abbey. honestly.
Never watched
Like,
it.
I feel really stupid for admitting that, but I would have to go online. I would have to pause it and be like,
What is this?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, I will have you know the chat room is ablazing right now.
It's
Everyone
blazing.
says
It's
hello. Yeah.
Hello.
People love you.
Hello.
And Daquan actually said Casey made quite an impression of Teen Wolf, and it was just the first episode. So you're playing a character called Howlin?
Howlin.
Howlin.
Which I forget what language it is, but it means salt. FYI.
Oh, don't be salty.
You're
on
a
Teen
salty
Wolf.
individual.
Don't be salty.
I love my salt.
So what can you tell us about this character? It's only been, the series just premiered last week.
Last week, yeah.
And it's the final season.
It's the final season, 6B. I mean, unfortunately, there's not much I could really spill about the character, other than what's already been said about him. But he is an OG. He's a little bit older than Ryan Kelly's Hellhound character. So he's a little bit stronger. He's a little bit more aware of his powers and what he can do. He's definitely stirring some things up right now. We don't know yet if he's good, if he's bad. We don't. I mean, I think it's complicated, is what we can say for right now.
Isn't that life?
Yeah.
He sounds like a Facebook
It's
status. It's complicated.
So how many episodes are you going to be on?
3.
3. Okay.
Yeah.
So no wonder you're making such.
So
an
already
impact.
one's already down. You have
One's
two
already
more?
aired. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was it like stepping into this role? Because the last that you visited us here, you were just doing eye candy,
Eye Candy, yeah.
on MTV.
Right,
And
right.
now you're stepping into this whole different universe. How has it been for you?
Yeah, basically, I traded my badge in for some fangs.
Yes.
And but no, I'm just, it's great to stay in the same family as MTV.
Of course.
They've always been so nice to me, and I love working with them. And it was really surreal, just because I knew Shelley Hennig from working with her on Days of Our Lives, and for quite some time, and I knew Ryan Kelly through mutual friends. I worked with Cody Christian before on another show, so it was kind of like already a little family built in. And then the director, Russell, was the director of Eye Candy for the first 2 episodes. So it was just kind of like this family. But what I sense about Teen Wolf is that there's such a loving group of people, and they welcomed me, with open arms. And honestly, I had such an amazing experience being there.
Yeah.
So I have like nothing but good things to say about working on that show.
Nice.
Well, when I was checking out your Instagram and saw you posted the picture of you, I was like, "Ooh, this is a whole different side to Casey that like I've never seen before." Because we're used to you as Chad,
Right.
right. From back in the day, and then we saw you as the detective on Eye Candy. Now it's like I describe it as like this mythological like being,
Yep.
and it's like, ooh, okay, so how is he gonna do this?
Yeah, little did you know there was a monster inside.
Yeah.
But that's what you saw in that photo. That took 3 hours.
Wow.
Standing
Oh,
for 3 hours, not to mention an hour and a half
Afterwards?
to take it all off after.
yeah.
So I was always the first one there and then the last one to leave.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
And so
And you had to do that for several days, like, in a row?
yeah,
Or
yeah.
did they try to, like, shoot as much as they could, like, in the
Yeah.
one time so you weren't...
Right.
like,
Yeah.
having to
Exactly.
do that so much?
But for some reason my skin didn't handle the glue as well, and so they would have to scrape it off, like scrub it for literally half an hour just in one spot.
Yeah.
To actually get the glue off because it's so strong.
Yeah.
So, but nonetheless, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was so much fun, and they did a really good job. The FX makeup artist. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
I can only imagine your bathroom, just like just stuff, just remnants everywhere. It's kind of like
where'd this come from?
It's kind of like when we go to WeHo and like you find glitter, and
Oh,
it's just
yeah,
it's
what
just
you-
six
yeah.
Explain.
Well, it's like whenever we
I'll
go to
let him
West
take that
Hollywood,
one.
it's like you just randomly find glitter just somewhere on you. It's almost like that's how you enter West Hollywood. It's like they douse you with glitter.
Dousing
You
with-
don't even want it. You didn't even leave home with
It's
it.
like a rite of passage.
It's just there. Yeah.
Huh.
And then you get home in your shower and you're like, where did all this glitter come from?
Usually the next morning.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, what?
It's like, what?
That
What
so-
is
that
this?
sounds
I was
like my,
sparkling all night?
Sounds like my Tuesday night.
I never had the glitter, but I would find food in my bathroom after my WeHo nights. Food in the bathroom was my...
That sounds
I'm
like
like,
a very drunken
okay,
WeHo night then.
No, you need a little something,
Yeah.
I walk by a
Something to
I walk by a 7-Eleven to get home because I live right down there. So,
That's what it
I
was.
just stop at 7-Eleven, get a little something, and then just leave it in the bathroom and go to bed.
The shower in my trailer was just doused in just like mud and like blackness, and so it was fun. was great.
Nice.
Now, last week you went to Amsterdam for
Yeah.
a Teen Wolf convention.
Fan
convention.
yeah.
How was that for you? Especially like just now being introduced to all of this
Yeah.
and now going into this
You know,
fan
I was
convention?
I don't think I realized how, you know, of a grand scale that was as far as the fans go.
Yeah.
You know, I thought that they wouldn't be welcoming. I thought that they'd kind of take a while to warm up to me, but as soon as they said my name, like it was just crazy to hear the energy from the crowd and how excited they were. Not just to meet.
I feel like there's been buzz around you starting on the show for a while, like at least on Twitter.
I hope so.
Yeah. There has been a lot of buzz.
They welcomed me into the Wolfpack like, you know, I was one of their own, and you know, honestly, it was one of the coolest experiences I got to have, and I had a couple days off in Amsterdam too. So
Oh, nice.
yeah.
The stories that I'm sure you have from Amsterdam.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Is it a glitter situation?
Do we have a couple hours? Or?
I've never been, but I've had a few friends that have gone, and they always come back with some very interesting tales.
It's crazy how clean Amsterdam is, and I feel like there's just so much more to advance in that, and I guess in that aspect. But
Yeah.
it definitely reminds me of New York, which I didn't realize that New York was a Dutch colony. I didn't.
Oh.
So yeah, that's
Well, you taught me something
some
too.
random
I know,
fact
right?
of the day.
History
So basically, it looks like New York with canals running through it, and then there's also a lot of marijuana smoke.
Okay.
I have heard of that. I was also watching Mariah's World, and she went to
Yes, they all
Amsterdam,
got
and
blazed.
yeah, they were having edibles and things like
Well,
that.
it's crazy because you just walk by. They're called, you know, coffee shops, and you know, people are just having a cup of coffee, just rolling joints right there in the street. So it's just.
I feel like the Housewives did that in Amsterdam too. The Beverly Hills Housewives. Sidebar.
Oh, they did.
When they were in Amsterdam, yeah.
I think they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. So Teen Wolf comes on Sundays on MTV at 8.
8 p.m. Yeah.
Yeah, so make sure you guys tune in. Make sure you support Casey. Yeah.
Yes.
So A Midsummer's Nightmare.
Nightmare, which aired the day after Sunday. So I
Yeah.
had Teen Wolf that aired, and then Midsummer's Nightmare.
You had a busy week last week.
It was busy. It was a really good week for me, and
Yeah.
I'm really excited because it's been a while since something's aired for me.
Yeah, and then you had 2 in 1 week.
Yeah.
Courtney Love is attached to that project as well.
She
right?
is. She was. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you work with her?
I didn't personally, but I got the chance to meet her in the makeup room and talk to her, and she's got some amazing stories.
She's got stories. Oh man.
I
can only imagine.
I just love to see her doing stuff because I mean
She was pretty good in the Menendez.
Yeah.
She did the Lifetime movie, The Menendez Brothers. She was
did.
good. I
Yeah.
thought she did a good job.
But I feel like people associate her with just being like a mess or
Right.
Kurt Cobain's like ex-wife.
No,
but
she was
she's-
sweet. She's down to earth.
Yeah.
She would call me by my character name. She wouldn't call me Casey. She would call me So.
See, fully committed actress.
She's
Yeah, I've heard of actors doing that before.
Yeah.
They don't break character when they're like offset.
But she, I mean, for the one episode that we did, I mean, she was great. She,
Yeah.
She was really good.
And this is, I thought originally was a movie, but as I started reading about it, this is like a pilot.
It was a pilot that unfortunately didn't get picked up, but they aired it as a TV movie.
Okay.
Which is the biggest cliffhanger ever.
Oh boy. Well,
No resolution.
You know who can revive that are fans. Fans can revive anything. And
True.
so
It's amazing, especially with like the online communities now. They get shows like that are canceled, either moved to another network because they rally behind it. So
Right.
you know.
Right.
Now this A Midsummer's Nightmare. I keep wanting to say A Midsummer's Night's Dream, but that's the actual
I mean, you could
Shakespeare
say
thing.
that. It's fine.
This was all based around couples and this like woods, foresty area that's like making you guys do things based on your thoughts and secrets and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, they our writer Anthony, he's incredible to work with, but he was always there with us every day on set, and which was really amazing to see someone like that do that, and he tried to stick to the play as much as he possibly could, and then while adding more realistic, more modern day taste to it, I should say. But yeah, I mean, it's I'm trying to think of the words to say here. don't know. What was the question?
just about it.
Just about it. Okay. Well, we shot for a month straight in Vancouver, where it basically rained every single day. I think it broke a record for longest consecutive days raining. I think 30 days or something like that.
Oh wow.
So we shot a lot of it in the rain, at night shoots in the rain. So that was that. I felt like the rain was like a character in itself in the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got a group of kids going into the woods, and then little do they know that who's in on what, and basically some really creepy things start happening. Things go missing. Cars start not working, and everyone's trying to put these pieces together to figure out what's going on. And essentially at the end, I don't know if you watched it, but some bad stuff starts happening.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I'm pretty sure they're gonna re-air it again.
I hope so.
Yeah.
They usually re-air their TV movies pretty frequently.
Because we all really enjoyed it. It was beautifully shot.
Yeah.
And the characters are very dynamic, and I think I'm a horror fan. I like that type of genre. It reminded me a lot of kind of like American Horror Story. It's like in that sense.
Yeah.
It's really creepy, really dark, really edgy. So.
Yeah. Real dark. Well, see, I feel like I can't do a horror film because we don't last that long in horror films. Like, we're the first to go.
I actually got the chance to work with Dominic Monaghan, who's a childhood hero of mine, from Lord of the Rings. So it was just crazy, eating with everyone, the cast and the crew, and just looking up and be like, oh my God, that's Pippin, it's crazy. So that was really surreal for me.
Yeah.
But loved every second of it. So
good. Nice. Well, we're just happy to see you back on screen and back doing stuff.
I appreciate that
and all of that, because we've missed having you on days.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Well,
do you miss it?
Do I miss working every day? Absolutely. That was the perk of being.
Something I'm curious about. You mentioned working, the Days of Our Lives schedule. When you're one of the core characters, it has to be pretty grueling, because you're expected to get it all in one take. There's very minimal rehearsal time. But then when you move over to a primetime show or a film, it's almost like a what do they call it? There's a phrase
schedule wise.
Ready, set, wait.
I guess
there's
it's
very much
hurry up and wait.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's it. Yep.
I remember the last week I was working on Days. Joe Moscolo pulled me aside, and he found out that I was leaving, and he's like, basically just said, "Why the hell would you? What the hell are you doing? Why would you want to do that?" And I think I just had to give it a shot.
Yeah,
I didn't want to go through my life thinking what if, why didn't I take the chance?
Yeah,
that's understandable.
And so it's I'm not gonna say it's been easy. Since I've been off for 4.5 years now, almost 5, and it's been really hard. In this business, it's up and down, and you're hundreds of auditions, and then when you audition, you'd be lucky to get a call back. You get a call back, you do a producer director meeting. And then if you're lucky, after that, you get a test offer. Yeah. And then if you test, then you do a network test or a studio test, and it's you go through all these
so many
so
hurdles.
much, and then when you finally book something, you don't even know if it's going to get picked up.
Yeah.
And so it
takes a strong-willed person
absolutely
to work in this business and as an actor,
so,
thick skin.
My only advice for anyone wanting to come out here and do that is just make sure you have a good group of people. Stay focused, get in class.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of reading, a lot about Stoicism and Marcus Aurelius, and I've been reading this book by Eckhart Tolle, A New Earth and The Power of Now. I don't know if you've read those books before, but they're incredible. So
they don't have cliff notes.
But they've been really helping me lately, just because in the downtime it's rough, it's hard. Yeah. It's not an easy thing. People think that actors have it made, and it's quite the opposite actually.
Trust me, I know how difficult things can be in this industry.
Yeah.
They're very tough, but
it's very unforgiving.
Hopefully with Teen Wolf now out and with A Midsummer's Nightmare, that people are gonna recognize your work. And
I hope so. I think this role with Teen Wolf was the first time that I got to feel absolutely free in my work and what I got to do. You know, basically creating this character from the ground up is just like, you'd be like, hey, you got this role, you're playing Hallwyn, you're Hellhound. I'm like, what the hell does that mean? I don't even know what a Hellhound is.
Yeah.
And so, but then I learned about the mythology behind Hellhounds, and you know, like I really kind of got the sense of how the character would walk and how he would talk, and they kind of gave me an idea that he was T-1000 from Terminator 2.
Yeah.
You know, Liquid T-1000. So I kind of made this whole character myself, and Russell, the director, was just like, look, just run with it, go with it. I'll bring you back if I need to. Yeah. But you know, just go with it. Yeah. And so I just went for it. So
that's amazing. Yeah. See, all the training and all the downtime led up to this moment.
Yeah.
And you were ready
actually
for
use what you.
Yeah. And the metal band too. I used to be, when I was in the metal band, my scream actually really came in handy for Hallwyn, because all the growls and grunts and stuff you hear on the episode is most of it's me. Yeah. And so it kind of came in handy.
Everything comes into play. Yeah. Maybe one day the fact that I do this podcast and all that stuff will come into play. Maybe I'll play like a podcaster on a show or something. I can say I have experience doing that. Maybe. I don't know. Well,
keep it on the resume. You know?
Right. Well, we're going to open up the phone line so that you guys can call in if you have a question for Casey.
Oh, nice.
He is more than welcome to answer them. Or if you just want to say what you thought about this week of Days. You may learn like some new stuff that's happening on the show now.
What's going on in Days world?
A lot.
So much.
There's a lot.
So much.
Yeah. Well, the number to call is 424-253-0749. Again, that's 424-253-0749. So Days has a new writer, so they're going through all of that.
Another trend. Another what do they call it? A reset. There's a phrase there's a phrase that's always used whenever they do one of these. And it's always like a reset or
or it's how we're going to save Days.
Save day once a year.
And then now Chandler's back on, right?
Chandler, he hasn't premiered yet, but we know that he's coming back on. Allison Sweeney is back on.
Wow.
Luis Sorel
got the whole crew back.
Yeah, so Morgan Fairchild.
Eileen Davidson's coming back too.
Eileen Davidson.
I love Eileen.
Oh my God, her as Kristen. I love it. I love it.
They haven't said if they're bringing her back as Kristen. They haven't confirmed her if she's going to play. I don't see why they wouldn't, but
yeah.
Oh, we got a caller.
Oh, okay. Well, let's take it. Hello, caller. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV's Dish and Days. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello.
Hello.
They're going to be upset when they realize they missed their opportunity. Are you there, caller? Hello.
I am here. I am here. This is Lisa from Georgia.
Hey, Lisa from Georgia.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi, how are y'all?
We're doing great.
How are you?
You're on live with me, Michael, and Casey. Do you have a question or comment?
I sure do. Thank you, Casey, for taking the time with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what have you been doing besides, Teen Wolf?
What have I been doing besides Teen Wolf?
What other projects have you been up to?
Okay, yeah. Besides Midsummers as well, because I was in Vancouver for a while filming that. I've been doing a lot of CrossFit training. I'm doing this thing called Brute Body, which is it's a CrossFit workout I've been doing pretty much almost every day. I've been doing a lot of hiking with my dog. I've been taking trips, been traveling, reading a lot. I'm in class, acting class, and so and then auditions. That takes up a lot of my time as well.
That's how I do CrossFit. I follow you on Instagram, and I'm like, I feel like I'm a part of it while I'm sitting there on the couch, and I'm like, ooh, yeah, I did it.
You're part of our cult. I love it. Yeah,
that's how I live my CrossFit life. It's through Casey's Instagram.
Vicariously through someone else.
Yes.
What's that?
Sorry, they support her. We always support you no matter where you're at.
I love you for that.
To say thank you.
Thank you so much, Lisa. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. And thank you, Tony, for the fan of the week. I appreciate that.
Of course. No problem, Lisa. Thank you for your comment on Instagram. I greatly appreciate it because, we do this show for you guys. So thank you for that.
That's right. And we still need Maxine's son, and maybe he's the one that killed Deimos, maybe.
That's what I'm saying. I've been trying to get on Days for years, and so I created a character for myself called Maxine's son. So it's going to happen.
Put that out in the universe.
We're going to throw it out.
We're going to help write you in.
That's right. Well, thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, Anna. You got other phone calls. So have a good night.
You too.
Have a good one.
And let's take this next caller. We were so close to getting it. Oh, there we go. We'll take it. Hello, caller. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV's Edition Days. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Mike Riley from New York.
Mike Riley, how are you?
I am well. How's everyone doing?
We're doing
Good,
great.
good.
As you can tell, we have fans that normally call in every week, so we have a rapport. We feel very familiar with each other.
So you guys have a relation.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice, nice.
Go ahead, Mike. You know the drill.
Is Mark not there because Casey's there and he had to show his loyalty to Billy? Is that what's happening?
Oh, Mike Riley, how dare you call in and try to start stuff? No, Mike. Mark is at Alexis's wedding, so yeah.
That's great. I'm very happy for her. But I'm just teasing. I just want to say, Casey, it is great to see you. I'm a big fan of Teen Wolf, and it's nice to have learned that you were going to be an addition to that show. I've been watching since season 1.
Oh,
so
that's awesome.
This is
Thank
super
you.
great.
Did you watch this last episode?
I have not yet, so I'm excited. It's DVR'd.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
No spoilers, please.
Okay.
Well, he's in it, so you better catch up.
I know he's in. I'm super excited. I mean, I was a big fan of yours on Days. I have to say that beard looks not to get totally homo on you, but that beard looks great on you.
Thank you.
It's okay, Mike
okay to be
Riley.
homo.
You can express your feelings. You know we do here all the time. I called him Burly when he walked in.
Yeah, he looks. I know you're all swollen. Jesus.
It's that CrossFit.
Come back
It's
on
that
Days
CrossFit.
with a different character.
You know what? The beard. I just. I didn't choose the beard. The beard chose me.
Okay.
It happens that way sometimes. You know, as you can tell, I'm struggling with the choice. Like
It looks good on you.
Thank you.
I like it.
appreciate that. Thank you.
I think. I don't know. I think it's in right now. I don't know. I just feel
Beards
are
good.
in. Yeah.
Me myself, I feel confident when I have a beard. I feel so like baby faced and young when I shave.
Same.
So,
True.
Same thing.
so.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. What other projects are you working on, or anything in the works other than what you've mentioned already?
Yeah. Right now, I'm living that unemployed life.
Fun employment.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Fun employment.
No, I'm just kidding. You know, I'm just auditioning a lot, and I've actually getting really close to a few projects.
Like you were talking though, that's work in itself. It's like you're not just sitting around. You're
Yeah.
No,
actually,
I mean I'm working at this every day. It's not like I'm just sitting
Sure,
around.
you have
know.
to.
Yeah.
So, but I there's a few projects coming up right now that's in the works, and so you know how that goes. We'll see. So
Well, everybody, just say a little silent prayer for him.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The more, the merrier.
Well, I like I like when soaps do interesting castings, like when they bring people back that were previously on the show as different characters. So since Allison is coming back, if you want to come back as an aged Johnny DeMira, I think that would be awesome.
Hey, that'd be cool.
That was yeah. And then when Johnny comes back, he can also come back with a friend,
God.
Maxine's
I
son.
know where this is
Just
going.
plug that
All
right in.
Yeah, you see how that works? Look, Mike Riley, if I'm on the show, you're on the show, and you can be that much closer to Billy. I'm trying to help you out.
Mike Riley's going to a Game of Thrones viewing party, so I have to wish you all adios.
I just caught up today.
Have a great one, guys. Nice talking to you.
All right, buddy.
You too.
See you, man.
Bye.
Bye now.
I can't get into Game of Thrones. I can't.
Me neither.
I can't do it. Caller?
It's I watched the first
Nope.
3 seasons and then I stopped for a while, but I just got back into it. So
Oh.
There was a joke online, and it reflected me and my husband so well. It was like, everybody's excited about Game of Thrones, and I'm sitting here waiting for Shaws of Sunset. And that was us. Like we're like, ooh, Shaws of Sunset. Everyone's about Game of Thrones, and we're like, Shaws of Sunset and Claws is our Sunday night.
A lot of people in the chat room want to know if you are still good friends with Chandler.
yeah. I mean, he lives. We used to live together, and we don't live together now. So obviously we don't talk as much anymore. But
I saw you guys just a sidebar at Laurel Tavern once. I was with a friend of mine on the patio.
Really?
And she and I are big Days fans, and so she saw you guys first, and she's like, "Oh my god!" And she stood up and was like, "Days of Our Lives!" And you guys were like,
Thank you.
At first you guys were like, but then you guys were very, like, she hugged you guys. You were very cordial.
Okay.
You were very nice for someone accosting you on your, like, personal time.
Yeah.
But
I
completely
so
forgot
funny.
about that until you mentioned it.
I forgot about it too.
Yeah.
But Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
hey-
I talk to Chandler every once in a while. I do.
Oh, good.
So, yeah.
Oh, well, I think we have a caller. Hey, caller. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV's
Hi,
Dish and
Tony.
Days.
Hello.
It's Lonnie.
Hello, Lonnie. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I have a question for Casey.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi, Casey.
Hi, Lonnie.
Miss you on days.
Thank you. Thank you.
And my question is, if you were to come back on days, would you like to play EJ again?
Would
If
I play EJ again, or did I play EJ in the past?
No,
Or?
if you wanted to come back and play EJ.
Oh, ooh.
That's a tough one.
That I couldn't fill his shoes. There's no way.
We were just
talking about that. Like, if they were to bring EJ back, it couldn't be.
anyone
No
else.
offense to you, but like,
Yeah, oh, no,
James
no.
Scott
That's
is
James
EJ.
Yeah.
Scott is. You can't replace him. Actually, I just spoke to James about when I was in Amsterdam out of the blue, and so I'm gonna meet up with him when he gets back. God, I love James.
Yeah.
I love him.
He's so nice.
He's a good guy.
Yeah. Well, there's your answer, Lonnie.
Yeah, yeah. The answer is no.
Yeah, those are big shoes to fill,
Yeah.
and you know, yeah. I think if Casey, if that door were to open, he would have to come back as someone like new.
And that's not a new thing for days. You know, they have.
Have they
Josh
done that
Taylor.
before?
Josh Taylor came back as Roman Brady. Yeah, Josh Taylor came back as Roman Brady, and he had previously played a different character back in the 80s. They brought him back in like 97 as Roman.
Yeah, you played a guy named Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, if I ever came back, to days, it would have to be a character completely different, like way different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, just someone like up to no good. I don't know, just something.
We could do that together. Like he could come into Salem and then
plug
he has
in
a
the
friend.
Maxine son.
Exactly. Listen, don't hate the player, hate the game. Wait, is that how it goes?
Yeah, don't hate the player, hate the game.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Lonnie, for calling in.
Thanks, Lonnie.
Thanks, Lonnie.
All right.
Bye, Tony.
Bye. Who said some Daquan said could I be Chad's brother? No, that's a stretch. That's too much. I couldn't do that.
Do you have a picture
Of what?
of him?
Daquan?
Oh, you be my brother.
Yeah.
Why not?
Ooh. That's some interesting. Like even I'm at a loss for words.
It's not the oddest thing that's been done.
True. I think it could happen.
Mm-hmm.
We'll make it work. Oh, someone said they're trying to put you in as Maxine's son too, but you're the adopted son. Look at that. We're twins.
That could work too.
That could work. Anything is possible.
You just gotta grow your beard out though.
That's true. Well, I can't grow mine out as thick as yours. Like like mine is in the tween
that's a
stage.
Bushy beard.
This is a good I don't know, 2.5 months.
Oh wow.
See, that's commitment. I shave mine down. Like this is probably as most as it's gonna get, and then I have to bring it down.
It's weird. Like if I ever stick my head out of the window now, like I can feel the beard blowing in the wind now. Or if I'm swimming.
Do you do that a lot when you're driving?
Yeah,
Just
sometimes
like
I'll
to get a little fresh air.
Like the Jim Carrey driving. Like, yeah.
Well, unfortunately, we have to wrap things up now. But I'm glad that you came in and surprised everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's always good to hear like what you're up to and that you're still out there hustling and doing things. And so you guys, again, make sure you support Casey. Make sure you tune in to Teen Wolf tonight. If you're on the East Coast, you're missing it. And if you're on the West Coast, check it out at 8.
Check it out.
Yeah, and also look on Lifetime and see if A Midsummer's Nightmare is coming. I always want to say Midsummer's Night Dream.
It's fine. It's okay.
Yeah, make sure you tune into that if they re-air it. And where can they find you on the social media so they can keep up with you?
I'm pretty active on social media right now. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter. At Casey Deidrick, so at CASEYDEIDRICK.
See, that's so simple.
And I'm pretty active. If I'll answer back.
Yeah.
So.
See. All right. Well, that's been our show. And Michael, thank you so much for filling in.
Thank you for having me.
For not one but two people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boy, let me tell you. Now, you talk about shoes to fill. Those are some shoes to fill. Michael, where can the fans find you in case they want to follow you?
They can find me on the Twitter.
On the tweets?
On the Twitter, MLMATTES #1 at Twitter. And then if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's just MLMattis, MLMATTES. And, I'm not too active, but,
We'll make them.
Feel like asking me something? Go ahead and ask me. I'll ask.
Exactly.
I'll answer. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you once again, Casey, for stopping in.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you,
me,
Michael,
guys.
for
Appreciate
being
it.
here.
Absolutely.
And of
Thank you for
course,
having me.
you can follow us on Dishin Days on Facebook and Instagram, and at _ Dishin Days on Twitter. And you can follow me at Lounging with Tony on all the social media platforms. We will be back next week for a full recap of next week's episodes of Days of Our Lives.
Red team
Bye,
go!
y'all.
Red team go!
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.